Is your phone spying on you? It's the question that kind of haunts us all, right? So today, we're going to cut through all the noise and get to the facts. Let's find out if that little device in your pocket is actually listening.
You know the feeling. You have to. You're chatting with a friend about, I don't know, a vacation to Japan. You haven't searched for it, haven't typed a single word, and then, bam, an ad for flights to Tokyo pops up on your feed. It's so common, people call it the heard it phenomenon. And yeah, it feels less like a coincidence and way more like you've been overheard.
So let me just say this right up front. You are not imagining it. Something is definitely happening. But the real story, well, it's not what you think. And honestly, the truth is a lot more complex and frankly, way more unsettling than just your phone secretly recording you.
Okay, so before we even tackle the whole listening question, let's talk about what is not up for debate. This is the stuff your phone is confirmed, documented, and openly collecting about you every single day.
First up, location. And we are not talking about just what city you're in. We're talking precise, minute-by-minute tracking. It knows where you sleep at night, where you work, the route you take between them, which doctor's office you visit. It even knows who you spend time with just by seeing that your phones are in the same place at the same time. This stuff is the absolute crown jewel of personal data.
To really get a sense of the scale here, just look at this number, 50 billion. Back in 2018, journalists at the New York Times went out and legally bought a single data set from a data broker. It had 50 billion location pings from 12 million phones. And from this supposedly anonymous data, they could easily track Pentagon officials and celebrities. And the craziest part? It was all perfectly legal.
But okay, it goes way, way beyond just where you are. It's everything you type into your phone, especially if you use a third-party keyboard. It's your entire contact list, which apps use to build what they call shadow profiles, basically files on people who don't even use their app. It's your face, your fingerprint, every website you visit, every single scroll, every tap, every second you pause on a photo. It's all being logged.
So here's the really crucial part. All these little bits of data aren't just sitting in some file somewhere. No, they're being fed into these massive algorithms to build a digital version of you, a profile that is so frighteningly accurate it can predict what you want, what you're afraid of, and what you're probably going to do next.
Which brings us back to the big one, the main event. With all this data already in hand, do they even need to listen to your actual conversations to target you with ads? Let's finally separate the fact from the fiction. This slide lays it out perfectly. On one side, what's proven? Well, things like Siri and Alexa are of course always listening for their wake word, and accidental activations happen all the time, and yeah, those recordings can be reviewed by real humans. But on the other side, what's unproven is the idea that apps like Facebook are secretly recording you just for ads. Despite years of security experts digging around, nobody has ever found that smoking gun.
And here it is. This is really the key takeaway from this whole thing. The reason no one has ever found hard evidence of these apps secretly recording you is actually pretty simple. They don't need to. The surveillance system they already have in place is so powerful that listening in would just be overkill. Because they have these incredible prediction models. Think about it. You talk to your friend about Japan, but maybe your phone knows you were physically in the same room, and maybe your friend had searched for flights last week. Maybe you live in a neighborhood that has a high interest in international travel. The model connects all those dots and predicts your interests with stunning accuracy. It's not mind reading, it's just math, running on a giant mountain of your personal data.
So, if this isn't all just for creepy ads, where is all this data going? Well, this is where we need to pull back the curtain on this massive, hidden economy that runs almost entirely on your personal information. $200 billion. That's the estimated value of the data broker industry every single year. These are literally companies whose entire business is just buying your data from apps and websites, packaging it all up, and then selling it to whoever is willing to pay.
And the people buying this data, it's not just companies trying to sell you sneakers. Government agencies are buying this data specifically to get around needing a warrant to track people. And as we've seen with apps like TikTok, there are huge concerns about foreign governments getting their hands on this sensitive information too.
And look, this isn't some far-off theoretical problem. This slide shows the real-world damage that's already been done, from the Cambridge Analytica scandal influencing elections, to the Pegasus spyware targeting journalists and world leaders, to the fact that, yes, after Roe v. Wade was overturned, you could literally just go buy location data showing who visited an abortion clinic. The stakes could not be higher.
Okay, I know. That was a lot. And it's really easy to just feel totally powerless here. But you're not. So let's shift gears. Let's talk about what you can actually do to start taking back some control over your digital life.
A huge question people always ask is Apple or Google, iPhone or Android? And it really boils down to one thing, their business model. Apple makes its money selling you the phone, so for them, privacy is a feature they can sell you. Google makes its money on ads, so its whole system is built around collecting data. In fact, Apple's app tracking transparency feature cost Facebook an estimated $10 billion. That one number tells you everything you need to know about how valuable this tracking is. So while iPhones are more private out of the box, remember, no phone is perfectly private.
So here are 3 things you can do like right now, the second this is over. First, go into your settings and review your app permissions. Seriously, does that game you downloaded really need access to your microphone? Does that coupon app need your location 24/7? Turn it off. Second, turn off ad personalization. And third, switch your browser. Ditch Chrome for something better like Safari, or even better, Brave or Firefox Focus.
And if you want to level up your privacy game, here are 3 more things to think about. Get a reputable, paid VPN to hide your internet traffic. Just be careful with the free ones. A lot of the time, they're just selling your data too. Switch to a messaging app like Signal, which is the gold standard for privacy. And use a search engine like DuckDuckGo that doesn't build a profile on you.
So back to the original question. Is your phone spying on you? The answer is yes, absolutely. But just probably not in the way you were imagining. The real danger isn't some spy movie scenario. It's the boring, everyday, totally legal surveillance that we all agreed to when we just click I accept on 1,000 pages of terms of service we never read.
And that really leaves us with one last question to chew on. We've all kind of bought into this idea that free apps are a fair trade, right? We get cool services, they get our data. But now that you've seen what they're really taking, the scale of it all, you have to ask yourself, is what you're getting in return really worth the price?